Hello English learners. Today we are going to read a thought-swirling poem, Animals, in the book First Flight, Class 10th. Name of the poet is Walt Whitman. So here we go.
So children, today we are going to do poem Animals, Class 10th, in book First Flight. The poet starts with thought-provoking lines. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. Now, in the very first stanza, I pronoun refers to the poet himself because poet wants to live in the world of animals. He finds that the animals are always self-sufficient and they are placid, means they are calm and peaceful. He also feels that if you are living in the land of animals, you will never be in dissatisfaction mode. He feels that animals are more peaceful than human beings. And why does he say so? Because animals are not blindly running after the materialistic things like the human beings. So he feels that they are calm. They do not have any greed for worldly things, or they are not running after any kind of achievements. They are happy and contented with life. They never interfere in the lives of others. But if you see human beings, they are always, in the habit of interfering. They always keep nagging. They always keep poking in others' affairs. So, in the very first stanza of the poem, the poet thinks that it is important to be calm and composed, and he finds that animals are far better than human beings. He says that these are very valid reasons why for long hours he keeps standing and looking at those animals. And he feels that I must be in their company. Let's check out the very second stanza here. Now, in this second stanza, you can see here that how the poet is trying to tell us very, very important fact here about they do not sweat and whine. Whine means they do not complain or crib, right? Now they do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied. Not one is demented with the mania of owning things. So what exactly the poet is trying to tell us here? Demented word in particular here, children, it refers to the disturbing thoughts, the eccentric deeds. And he says that human beings are actually always doing wrong things and then they keep repenting. Let us check line by line. He says that unlike humans, animals do not complain about any misery. They never cry out loud like humans do to evince that they have lost lot many things which are very, very precious to them. Now these animals, they do not try to keep themselves awake during night time like human beings who keep repenting about their wrongdoings. This means that animals are again composed and satisfied. They do not show anger or grief. If something wrong happens with them. He further says that animals are very truthful because they are not pretentious. They never boast of their good deeds done in the name of religion or God. So this is very, very important part here, children, that they try to show their good deeds and religiousness to no one like human beings. The poet thinks that animals never irritate him by doing such petty things. And why? What is the reason? Just to show that we have gained a little popularity among our fellow members? So the poet thinks that animals never irritate him. Animals are never ever dissatisfied. They believe in contentment and they know how to stay happy with whatever they have. They never try to possess things of comfort or luxury. So here, the metaphorical usage of sweat and wine, which actually in the poem refers to the complaints and cries of human beings. Very, very important stanza in the poem. Now let us move ahead with the next few lines. Not one kneels to another, nor to this kind that lived thousands of years ago. This line is really very, very heart touching. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So, they show their relations to me, and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. Now, what is the meaning of these lines? Very, very important. The poet is trying to emphasize on a fact that he has never ever seen any animal showing devotion to anyone, by bowing down in front of the person. But here he says that he has seen human beings doing that. Sometimes in front of their ancestors, sometimes in front of the people who are in authority. But animals do not show devotion towards God or any other person like humans do. Not one among them is more respectable or important, but in human beings and society you see that we people try to value the positions, the designations. In human beings, rich people are generally given more importance and they are treated with more respect as compared to the poor. But you see, in animals you won't find such dishonesty or pretension. So here what exactly the poet is trying to tell us, children, that animals are never trying to hide their feelings like human beings do. So this is an important fact here, that human beings, they show that they have very nice and friendly relations with others. They become sometimes very ostentatious in their behavior. But exactly what are they doing? They are wearing that pretentious mask all the time, 24/7. But he accepts the fact that animals are true towards whatever they are showing or exhibiting in their relation with other animals. The last two lines of the poem, if you observe carefully, children, the poet says, I wonder where they get these tokens. Now, tokens in particular, this word, if you see, is very, very important here. Now, what are the tokens, the poet is talking about here? This word refers to the attributes, the qualities, the virtues which we human beings had long back. So he is wondering, he is amazed that where from these animals are getting those good qualities and virtues, the merits which once long ago human beings also had. So basically, he is questioning himself that we also possess those qualities and merits, but where have we lost those? And he is asking himself a question and says that have I carelessly, negligently lost those virtues somewhere on my way to advancement? In the name of progressive thoughts and advancements, we people have lost virtues like kindness, compassion, innocence, and truthfulness. So the poet is wondering in the concluding lines that human beings have given up these virtues, but animals still possess those virtues. So basically, if you notice the initial lines of the poem and the concluding lines, they are showing the amazement of the poet that why exactly he wants to be in the land of animals. Because he also wants contentment now in his life. And he believes that what will happen if we people, the entire human race, will keep running after materialism? So, we must understand the comparing and contrasting image which has been shown here by the poet.